All right, welcome back to another Wright Stew podcast. I am Paul Stewart.
And I am Brian Wright, still at home this morning, but you're still in Speaker Studio, so I'm always a little
Speaker
jealous.
Studio, and it's Championship Sunday,
Beautiful.
NFC title game, Commanders versus Eagles, an old school NFC East matchup, and then the Chiefs and Bills is the later game, and I think that's the one. I think people are excited about both of these games, but I think
For
Chiefs
sure.
and Bills is the kind of the heavyweight fight, the one
Yeah.
that everybody's been looking forward to, and both teams have been it was kind of a 3-team race with the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Ravens, right? So
Yeah.
a great matchup between those two last week, but now the Chiefs are there and waiting to defend their title. But Brian, before we dive into the football games of the day,
Yeah.
I want to talk a little hockey for you.
Okay, good.
And
I like
we went to the Canes game last week or a couple weeks ago. A good time. Love going to the Canes. But my family watched The Mighty Ducks last night. And the movie came out in 1992. I have seen parts of it, but never have sat down and watched the entire thing all the way through, which seems a little odd. I'm kind of a sports guy.
Right.
When the movie came out, I was either 13 or 14 years old.
Right.
Maybe just a touch past, when that
Like the ideal age would be like 10 to 12, I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean 8 to 10, 8 to 12. So, but people love the movie.
Yeah.
I remember I used to work with a guy, and he said he literally started playing hockey because he saw that movie. And again, he was like 8 to 10 years younger than me, I want to say. So it makes sense.
Was he Canadian? Was he in an area that you?
No, he was from North Carolina. He's from North Carolina.
Wow.
So
it's hard to play hockey in North Carolina.
Yeah. And so saw the movie last night. Did not care for it. Did not like it at all. I know I'm known as like the Home Alone hater out there.
Yeah, and I disagreed with that one. I have to concur with the Mighty Ducks.
It was so bad.
Very subpar acting, very subpar plot. And the hockey play, I remember it again. I've spent a long time since I've seen it. You correct me if I'm wrong. The actual hockey play seemed okay or not.
But here's the other thing: they're in the rink. There's like no lighting. It's so dimly lit. There's like light spots on the. I've never played like youth, pee wee, any hockey of that nature. I imagine the lighting's better. Like you've got at least even lighting across the rink.
Yeah,
lighting was terrible. The actual hockey play was okay. There were some dumb moments. They were an 0-9 team when Emilio Estevez, Coach Bombay, took over.
Yeah.
They were 0-9, could barely skate. They looked terrible. And then within like a matter of weeks, they win the whole championship against the Hawks, the mighty, mighty Hawks. Come on.
You're just setting yourself up for failure if you think that's how life works.
Yeah, I mean.
The 0-9 team does not win the championship.
No.
How did their record get good enough to even?
Well, there was something about a tie. Somebody had the measles or something. I don't know. Just a lot of really cheesy, corny lines.
I do recall that. Yeah.
Just I don't know what I was expecting. I was expecting better. And
I wonder what Rotten Tomatoes like. Sometimes they've gotten to where politically they don't always love movies, but back in the day, they used to do a pretty decent job. Like older movies, they used to do a pretty decent job rating them. And so like Little Giants and some of those entertaining, decent little movies, they do a pretty good job of rating them. So I'm curious what they had.
Okay, I just pulled it up. So it's got a 27% on the tomato meter.
Yeah.
And a 65% on the popcorn meter.
So the popcorn is, I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure the popcorn meter is like the audience, how much they
that's 250,000 plus ratings. It's got a 65%. And then the tomato reader is 30 reviews. So I'm saying that's probably more official, it seems like.
Yeah, I think that's my read on that.
The critics' consensus.
Yeah, the critics were not a very good movie if you're getting in the 20s. What would you do you like It or Home Alone better if you had to watch one?
Oh, geez. Between those two? Yeah, it was like the ultimate punishment. Honestly, Probably Home Alone, because at least I get a little like Christmas nostalgia or something out of it. I get nothing from the Ducks there. Gosh, that was awful. But so, hey, for all of you folks out there who love it, I mean, go ahead and comment. Whatever you need to do, and if you're watching on YouTube, comment in there. Let us know. Let us know what your thoughts are on the Mighty Ducks. And so there we. So all right, let's get into football.
Yeah,
Yeah,
football.
first game, we got the Eagles and the Commanders. So the Eagles are the number 2 seed. Have the home field advantage here over the Commanders. We'll be in Philadelphia. Game time temperature will be in the low 30s. Is about what it looks like. No snow this week. Commanders coming in the heavy underdog, just winning road game after road game. Jaden Daniels just leading the way as a rookie. What are you looking forward to? What do you think is going to play out?
So number one, do the Commanders have a chance of stopping Barkley? I mean, he's obviously phenomenal, jumping over people backwards, doing all kinds of crazy things. Hurts may be the more important aspect. He's unique when he's a capable runner. He's not unique when he's not a capable runner. So I kind of think that may be actually number one, and then the defense of Washington, do they have enough to slow down Saquon? And the reality is, it feels like a lot of the Eagles games have been kind of grinded out type games. And then the Commanders games have feel like they've been more in control. Now, they've had close games in the playoffs and throughout the year, but it feels like they've shown a lot more offensive power when in regard to, how they're winning games.
So they split in the regular season. Each team won their home game, and which bodes well for the Eagles here.
I mean, Philadelphia's got to be a tough place to play. That's got to.
And they are, they are a 6-point favorite. So they're 6-point favorites. That's a pretty decent number, I think, in an NFC title game, right?
I'm taking the Commanders in 6 points.
If I'm betting, yeah,
I think they either. I mean, I think. I mean, the way Jalen's played, and I know they're playing with a little bit of house money here, but you got a good coach. Honestly, you would probably argue quarterback to quarterback. If you looked at traditional quarterbacks, Jalen probably, if you just took their names off and Hurts obviously had a really good start to his NFL career, but if you took their names off their backs and didn't know who and who, Daniels probably has a chance to be a much better, at least statistical quarterback.
Yeah. And Daniels fully healthy and everything. And both quarterbacks get on the move a little bit, can run, get outside the pocket. But like you said, with Hurts not being full, and last week he was 15 of 20 from throwing, and they didn't put a whole lot of onus on him, right? They didn't.
They ran him. He got him tweaked up a couple of times and got him bent in a couple of weird positions. But Scary Terry for the Commanders. I mean, he is awesome. It feels like, man, he has been through. Talk about character, guys, and this is what I think ends up winning you. And it's so hard. You got to have talent. But what gets you deep into these playoffs and wins championships is guys with real character. And I feel like he showed his going through all the nonsense, different quarterbacks that Washington's had, and then still being the ultimate pro and producing and always supporting his quarterbacks even when they clearly weren't really doing great at their job. I think it just shows he's an ultimate professional and probably, and I don't know it from Adam's house guy, obviously, but a high character guy.
Yeah. And to your point, the Commanders, it seems like they're always in it. They either have the ball or have to make it stop. It's a last possession kind of game. And again, this rivalry game, they know each other so well, play each other a couple times. It feels like it's going to come down to the ball is going to be in Jane Daniels' hand with a chance to win it at the end.
I agree.
Yeah, the Commanders I take the Commanders to at least cover. And honestly, I think they win the ball game. I think they.
I wouldn't be surprised. The other thing that's kind of not been mentioned, but again, back to leadership and character, Wagner, who came over, was with Seattle for a long time.
Bobby Wagner,
the linebacker, and he makes a huge difference as well. And he's not his first step. You can tell it's not what it used to be because there's some plays last week that were a little bit tough, and the previous week against the Bucks. But it is a really, really clear that character leadership makes a huge difference.
Yeah, absolutely. So excited about that one. And then again, as a big Redskins fan growing up, uh,
Are
yeah,
you circling back? Are you circling back? I feel like you're getting on board with them a little bit now.
I'm kind
Seeing
of
that
man.
red.
Look, man, I'm busting my old starting lineups back out. I got Art Monk and Daryl Green just ready to roll. Kind of feeling it again a little bit. Hearing from all my old kind of Northern Virginia folks and some other things. It's pretty exciting, man. And again, I didn't realize they hadn't even been in an NFC title game since '91, which was when I was kind of the
That's
heart of my
crazy. I mean,
Redskins
that was
fandom.
Joe Gibbs' like second stint or something, or
Yeah,
first stint.
no,
I
that
don't
was
know.
that
It's
was
been a
that was
long
the
time.
end of that was the end of his first stint, but
Wow.
because he came back in the early 2000s ish.
Yeah.
But so so exciting one to watch there. But again, if the Eagles ended up winning, wouldn't be surprised either. I do think it's going to be a close game regardless. I don't see one team really pulling away from the other on this one. So second game of the day is I think like I said the big one the old Chiefs. The old Chiefs going for the three-peat against the Buffalo Bills. And not the upstart Bills, but the number one contender, man. They've been knocking on the door. They've been really close a few times, and maybe this is the monkey, and maybe this is the year they get it off their back. I don't think they do, personally. I
Oh,
think
you don't. So
I
there's
think the
somebody else who
Chiefs.
agrees with you. I saw somebody put $1.3 million on Kansas City to win.
Holy smokes!
1.3. So they've got conviction as well. I think I have such a hard time when I'm pulling for a certain team to be unbiased. I'm pulling for Buffalo.
Yeah,
I feel like they're what the Panthers were for a very short period of time when we had Cam and we're doing some things in 2012, 2013, 2014, 15,
yeah,
ultimately losing in the Super Bowl. But I think Josh Allen is much better than Cam when you talk about
yeah.
passer, complete player.
Higher,
Um,
much higher completion percentage for sure.
and so, but there's some similarities. That's really Josh Allen's comp, and he's a better version of Cam Newton as far as just throwing the ball. I want Buffalo to win, so I'm completely biased. Kansas City. I know you love legacy. You love
Yeah.
dynasties or whatever. But I'm tired of seeing how many times. I think the better question or better bet or deciding over under is how many times do they show Taylor Swift during
Yeah.
the game?
The over under for Taylor Swift being shown on the broadcast is 5 times.
Wow, that's a
The number
lot,
is
isn't it?
5. Yeah.
I would have went 4 and probably been a push at 4. I think 5 is too many. Obviously, it depends on how good Travis Kelsey does. It seems like every time he catches a pass or does something remotely decent, they like to show her.
Yeah.
And so 5 seems like a big number.
So maybe that indicates how well they think Travis Kelsey will be playing or how critical he will be in the game.
That's a great little insight right
Yeah.
there. Great little
Here's
insight.
here's the other prop bet. Which celebrity will Taylor be seen with? So I'm
Well,
gonna
she was with Caitlin Clark last time. I don't know if she's considered a celebrity at this
Yeah,
point,
Kayla Clark.
but
Yeah, she's a celebrity. So Zendaya is on the list. Emma Roberts, Katy Perry, Blake Lively, Olivia Rodrigo. I love some Olivia Rodrigo. Henry Cavill, Shawn Mendes. Here's another prop bet. Will Taylor Swift announce a pregnancy before the Super Bowl?
oh, geez.
5 to 1, yes. 1 to 10, no. I mean,
I mean, I don't know. I assume they probably are having a little premarital sex.
you think so? You're not holding out for marriage?
You don't think they're just holding hands and doing side hugs? So
Well,
yeah, I would assume that
that's
they
what her
probably.
early songs were about, right? I mean, Drew looks at me. I know the early Taylor Swift pretty well. That
Oh
was
yeah, she's man, what a career though. You think about the longevity and
incredible. Yeah.
dude, it real. I mean, as much as I hate on, I do get tired of how much they show her as being part of the show. But man, what longevity, dude! What talent! She had a lot of boyfriends that's allowed for her to have a lot of content. It feels like
Yeah.
she likes to write songs about those situations. I feel like I'm just amazed. I was thinking about it the other day. It's like, how do we still have different music at this point? Right? You feel like there's been basically 50 years or 70 years of like rock and roll, roughly.
Yeah.
And It's like, how have we not? And I know there's some songs that sound similar, but it just seems like you're talking what, 4 or 5 chords on a guitar. It's just I'm
There's six
amazed.
strings. Yeah, there's I
Six,
mean
yeah. So I'm just amazed by people's ability not to sound just like somebody else. That's the reason I know
there
I
are
would never.
there are a lot of lawsuits that come out with people, yeah, like, hey, this was my song, this was my riff, this was my and those are always pretty interesting. And to hear kind of the mechanics and technical aspect to the songs
Oh, for sure, for
is
sure.
really interesting. The musicians are like some of them are really smart and understand the different kind of concepts and theory and all that kind of stuff. And they say, oh no, it's a slight change from here to here, from this chord to this chord, that makes it
And if
different.
they don't have it, they got really good producers. I saw the guy that was producing like Chicago. You remember that band back in the day?
Yeah, of course.
And just some of the little differences that he made. And he's like, I don't even play an instrument.
The biggest one I remember was, so I was a big Vanilla Ice fan, as
I
all.
thought you were going to say Millie Vanilli
No,
or
not
whatever.
Milli Vanilli. They were just lip syncing. But remember Vanilla Ice? He sampled Under Pressure,
Oh, yes.
and
And his was bump, bump, bump,
and
bump.
his was like, mine was ding 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 ding, and there's was ding ding. Yeah, and like he went through the whole thing. It's like, come on, Ice Man.
Come on, dude. I mean,
It's the same thing. Just give credit where credit's due. Pay them their royalties, and you're
it's
doing
pretty
okay.
incredible, though. I mean, but again, 70 years of that kind of the rock and roll. I mean, obviously, there was before then, there was Mozart and all these other guys and doing their own thing, but it's just amazing that you can still come up with unique voices and
Yeah.
and put together lyrics and
I
chords.
have gotten into a little bit. I've gotten into a little bit kind of the standards. I like to listen to that while I'm cooking supper, like the Frank Sinatras and Dean Martin,
Oh, yeah.
those sort of thing. And there's also, so for you music people out there, there's a group. I guess it's a group. I don't know what you call it, but it's called Scott Bradley's Postmodern Jukebox.
Okay.
Haley Reinhardt sings a lot with this. But they do kind of contemporary songs, but they play it in like a 1920s kind of like flapper style. It's really, I really enjoy it. It's really cool. So Scott Bradley's Postmodern Jukebox, for all you music people out there, check it out. I enjoy it. I think it's a lot of fun. So something different. So we got the Chiefs. I got the Chiefs, Brian.
All right, I'm going Buffalo.
You got the
We're
Bills.
split. I know it's what, 2 points. It's probably
Yeah, 2 points. So it's a close game. And again, I see this one coming. This one feels like whoever has the ball last is going to win the game.
I think if I were being honest, and I am biased because I'm pulling for the Bills, but I think it feels like Kansas City has found ways to win,
Yeah, every time.
and it has not been pretty at times. I also feel like this has been talked about a little bit, like the refs got such a hard time last game about how they treated Mahomes.
Mahomes,
I
yeah.
think they're going to. I think they're going to let a little bit more stuff slide this time. I think if he gets hit for a normal guy, it's not a penalty. It may not be a penalty this time. He has been protected. The late slides, I feel like you almost got to penalize. We got to get to a point to where, and it becomes subjective, maybe reviewable, where if it's a late slide, you ultimately have to you penalize the quarterback. I mean,
yeah. And
opposed to.
we've seen some of those plays where the defender is almost just kind of trying to keep him in front. And then if they go for him, they slide, they get in trouble.
Yeah,
and
and it's not like Patrick's a small guy either. You got to brace yourself if you're going to tackle him, right?
Yeah.
And if you get a chance to really put him on his back, you really want to. So I do think the refs may swallow their whistles a little bit, and I also think that I think it's Buffalo's time. There's a reason. Have there ever been a three-peat? I don't think there has.
First time.
So
this would be this would be the first. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a reason there's never been a three-peat, and so I think this is the game for them to lose.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. There you have it. Straight from the man himself. So, all right. Well, enjoy those games today. We appreciate y'all listening. Make sure you continue to reach out to others. We're going for all 50 states. We've got a bunch of them knocked out, but we need a little help on that. And then make sure you're liking, subscribing, and following on all the socials. Hey, have a great sports day.
Out. Go Pack.